going to do multiplying radical expressions. Okay, so right now we have two examples here, but I want to just go through the steps real quickly. You multiply outsides, you multiply insides. You distribute or FOIL as needed, and you can simplify before, during, or after a problem. So let me do a couple. Set my timer to make sure I don't go over time. All right. So this first problem here, we've got the square root of 5 times the square root of 20. Okay, so now we can simplify before, during, or after. Okay, so now we're going to do this one as a simplify before. So this would be 4 times 5, or 2 times 2 times 5. And that simplifies. The 2 gets out of the house and the 5 stays in. So now that gives me that problem. And so I multiply the insides on this one, because the outsides, that would be a 1. So this would multiply to give me 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so I simplified before. Well, now I have to simplify after, because this also breaks, and that's just plain 5. Everybody got out of the house. There's that 2. And 2 times 5 is 10. So the answer to this problem is just 10. No radical, regular 10. Now, the other method, the same problem, and doing it a different way, I could go ahead and simplify after. Let's multiply first and simplify later. So I just want you to see that it does not matter. Again, I can multiply the insides. Well, 5 times 20 is 100. And then I can simplify the 100, which is 10 times 10. And guess what, y'all? You can not even finish your prime factoring. If you've got a buddy, you can get out of the house, whether you're prime or not. And the answer is 10. So again, same answer. This one looked a whole lot easier than the other one. So sometimes one is easier than the other. But the idea is that you multiply outside numbers, multiply inside numbers, and you can simplify before, during, or after. Now the one in the middle says distribute or FOIL is needed. Let's check out our next example. Okay, so these require distributing. So we're going to distribute on these. And so this first one, we're going to distribute. Now you can simplify before, during, or after. That again is your call. We'll do it afterwards. So I'm going to distribute. The square root of 6 times the square root of 24 is going to be the square root of 144. And then the square root of 6 times a negative 5, or minus. Now, technically, I cannot multiply these. This is just 5 times the square root of 6. Remember, this is multiplication. It always has been. Whenever we've done this, it's always been the outside number times the radical. So now we're just doing that. We're having them separated and we write them together. Okay? All right. So let's keep going. Simplify. I can simplify the 144. That's 12 times 12. Oh, again, I don't have to always go all the way down. If I've got a pair, they can get out. So this is just 12 minus 5 squared roots of 6. Now, can I keep going? No. This is our final answer. And you're thinking, well, why can't I do 12 minus 5? All right, if you go back to 10:4, we talked about adding or subtracting. The radical acts more like a variable. So just kind of a little secret here. This would be like 12 minus 5x, and you would never do that. You would never subtract the 12 and the 5, because remember, that radical acts more like a variable. So that's the end of that right there. All right, so let's do the next one. We're going to distribute, okay, and this time we have we can multiply the 2 and the 2. We can multiply the inside. So this is going to give me 5 square roots of 4. And then distribute minus 5 square roots of 14. Okay, now the 4, now we can simplify. So multiply and then simplify. So now the 4, the square root of 4, now the 5's already out, but now this can simplify to 2 times 2. The 2's get out, and nobody's left at home. And I can do 5 times 2 is 10. Now, the 14 doesn't break. Nobody gets out. It's 2 times 7, so nobody gets out. And again, I can't do the 10 minus 5, so that's my answer there. All right, one more like this. We've got, change color, just for different color. All right, so now we're going to distribute. All right, so I'm going to do the 3 times the 4 and get the 12. And the square root of 3 times the square root of 6 gives me square root of 18. Okay. And I distribute over here. Get a 6 and a 45. Think that through, stop the video, make sure you can see what I did. I multiplied outside numbers together, multiplied inside numbers together. Okay, and now I'm going to simplify. Okay. Remember, the 12 is already out, and now I'm going to break the 18. Okay, and the 3 gets out, and the 2 stays in. So that's going to give me 36 square roots of 2. And let's do this other one. Remember, the 6 is already out. That's 9 times 5. And then the 3 gets out. And then the 5 stays in. And that's 18 square roots of 5. Now, can I add these? No. I cannot add these. They are not like terms. This is my final answer for this one. Okay? All right, we'll do another video with some more examples. So look for it.